Paramount Pictures. It's the Tom Leykis Show. Oh, yeah. And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's at every kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No, I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're gonna need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. A phrase came up on the air, and I have to talk about it. And I've heard people say this phrase when we're not on the air, and it always blows me away. You know, in life, it's amazing how many things I see people saying in order to absolve themselves of responsibility for bad decisions they make. It's done very commonly. Nobody's ever responsible for what they do. Someone else did it. It's somebody else's fault. You got a bad rap in life. You didn't get a fair shake. You grew up poor. Your parents abused you. There's a million reasons why you yourself are not responsible for the kind of person you are today. And it pisses me off. Pisses me off. Let me give you an example with this phrase that we heard on this program. You can't help who you fall in love with. What do you mean you can't help who you fall in love with? Of course you can help who you fall in love with. Let's start with this. I have no interest in being in love at this point in my life. I'm in lust. I love sex. I like hanging out. I like having a good time. I like maybe even going away for a weekend with somebody. But I don't need to be in love. I don't. If I fall in love with somebody, which is, at this point, I think highly unlikely, but, you know, anything is possible. Let me give you some examples of people I could never fall in love with. Drug addicts. No. Get that stuff out of my house. I don't mind if you smoke weed, but if you're a drug addict of some kind, out. Heroin, out. Methadone, out. Cocaine, out. If you're an addict, get out. I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care that you're going into a rehab or you're going in for counseling. Not my problem. Out, out, out. Just as an example. If you're an alcoholic, out. I like to party. I like to booze. I'll even have sex with you if you're an alcoholic. That's okay. Because when you're an alcoholic, you're always doing things you regret, I imagine. But do I want you moving into my place? Hiding empty vodka bottles? Lying about where you've been? Waking up and having a drink in the morning? Do I want that in my house? No. Out. I can't fall in love with you. You know why I can't fall in love with you? And this is what brings me back to this phrase, okay? Well, the reason I can't fall in love with you, the drug addict, the alcoholic, is because I love me. That's the person I love the most in the entire world, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. I love myself. There may have been times in my life when I didn't love myself more than anybody else in the world, and I suffered for it. But I'm proud to say today that I love myself. That's why I can't fall in love with just anybody. You can't help who you fall in love with. You damn well can. Are you involved in, like, blatantly illegal behavior? Are you an armed robber, bank robber? Do you carry weapons? Sorry, I can't fall in love with you. I can't. Can't do it. Every time I look at you, I'm going to think about you with some pantyhose over your head robbing a bank. I can't be in love with you. It can't happen. Can I help it? Sure I can. You're really cute, but you're a bank robber. Sorry. If you've got bad credit, I mean really bad credit, you know, the kind where you have to ask me to co-sign on loans and you need me to sign for your mortgage, or we can't put you on the mortgage. I wouldn't put you on the mortgage anyway, but I couldn't put you on the mortgage because your credit is so bad. I can't be with you. I can't do it. That's a character flaw. The fact that you borrow money you have no intention of paying back, or you have no idea how you're supposed to pay things back, you don't think ahead, it's a red flag. I can't be in love with you. Can't do it. FICO score below 700, you're out. Out. Student loans of $100,000, call me back when you've paid it off. Don't be coming to me now and then expecting me to write a check for that. It's not happening. Will not fall in love with you. Smoke cigarettes? I'll have sex with you, yes. Do I want your cigarettes in my house? No. I'll give you a chance once you move in to quit, and you got to quit within a reasonable period of time or you're out. I've had a couple of smokers in my life. They both quit. You're not going to live in my house and smoke. You're just not going to do it. I'm not going to be in love with you. It's that simple. Can't do it. Got a MySpace page? I might have sex with you, but I am never, ever going to have you move in with me. And I'm never going to fall in love with you if you continue to have 8,264 friends. I'm not going to. I'm not sharing you with the rest of the world. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I'll have sex with you along with the other 8,000, but I'm not going to take you into my life. I'm not going to fall in love with you. I'm not going to put my hopes and dreams in somebody like you. Of course you can help who you fall in love with. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And it's just people making excuses for not taking responsibility for their lives. Got to be kidding me. Jeez, child molest. By the way, look at the things this excuses. You could fall in love with Adolf Hitler, right? Well, you can't help who you fall in love with. Fall in love with a child molester. But I love him. I know he diddles little boys, but I love him. You gotta be kidding me, lady. You gotta be kidding me. You can't help who you fall in love with. How about Phil Spector? Could you fall in love with Phil Spector? Forget about the fact that he likes to play with guns. Take a look at this guy. Could you fall in love with him? Tell me you can't help it. Tell me that you could find yourself helplessly in love with Phil Spector. Come on. As an example. You gotta be kidding me. You can't help who you fall in love with. Yes, you can. And the minute I find out you're a bad person, or your badness like spill into my life and make me look bad, I'm not in love with you. There are some people who think that's cold and calculating. There are some people who think that life should just, unfold like a novel. You shouldn't, skip ahead or thumb through the pages. There are people who believe that you should let life wash over you like a tsunami. I'm not one of those people. I am proactive. I take action. I make things happen in my life, and I prevent bad things from happening in my life. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you buy into that phrase? You can't help who you fall in love with?
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Do you know that you're like a drug? Once you turn your radio show on, you have to listen.
That's right.
Every day.
Even Bible thumpers like yourself can't stop listening.
I know. It's so true.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. I can't help who I fall in love with. Yes, you can. Are you crazy? Are you just trying to make excuses for why you make bad decisions? 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Rayla on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what if you fall in love with someone and then you find something bad out about them because you're already in love with them?
Well, you fall out of love with them. I mean, for example, ever been with somebody who cheated on you?
Yeah.
Were you still in love with them after that?
Well, no, but I wasn't. Like,
well, wait a minute. But you're already in love with him. How could you fall out of love with him?
I don't know.
Well, that's my point. If you can fall out of love with somebody because they cheated on you, you can fall out of love for any number of other good reasons.
The person that I was with that cheated on me, we weren't really serious, so it wasn't, like, a big deal. Like, I wasn't really in
then
love.
It wasn't cheating.
Yeah, but, like, what if, like, you really do love someone and then you find out something bad about them? Like, wouldn't you want to, like, help them through the
It would
problem?
depend on what they did. If they murdered somebody, no. How about if you were with somebody and you found out he had raped someone? Would you want to stay with him?
Probably not.
Why not? But you're already in love with him.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
So you see, you do control who you love.
Yeah, well, I guess you would still love them, but you just wouldn't want to be with them.
So you would. So if you found out that if you found out your boyfriend was a rapist, you'd still love him.
No, but I would, like...
Well, you can't control who you're in love with, right?
I would still love him, but I wouldn't really want to be with him because of that.
So you would still love him even though he's a rapist. What if he raped you?
Like, I wouldn't love the fact that he's a rapist.
Would you love him if he raped you?
No.
Why not? You can't control who you're in love with, right?
How could you... Like,
turn the radio off. Turn the radio off.
Sorry, that was my friend.
You can't control who you're in love with, you told me.
Well, you can, like, I don't know. I think you could still love someone. Like, you might not love, like,
so if your boyfriend,
or their
problems. So if your boyfriend met your mother and when you were out of the room killed her, you would still love him. Maybe you wouldn't want to be with him anymore, but you'd still be in love with him, right?
Well, probably. Like, yeah, I would still love him, but I wouldn't.
You would love him even though he murdered your own... Let me understand. He murdered your own mom. You'd still love him. You're lying now. You are lying to me.
Well, no, I would hate him for the fact that he did it, but it would be hard to get over, you know, because you still have feelings for that person.
How could you have feelings for them if they just murdered your mother?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would hate them, but it would be hard to get over. Like, I don't know. Because, like, not only would you be losing your mom, but you would be losing someone who you thought you loved.
Oh, it would just be your ego being hurt because you would realize you were in love with a rapist. You wouldn't want to admit you made a mistake. And that's what this is all about. People saying they can't help who they fall in love with. They're just trying to have an excuse for making bad judgments in life.
I guess so, but, like, it wouldn't really be your fault if you didn't know about the person, like, know, like, something, like, if they had, like, a big secret that they didn't tell you until, like, after you guys have been together for a while, you know?
I mean, put it this way. If I'm with somebody and I found out they murdered somebody, I'm not in love with them anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Done. There is no doubt about it, okay? If I'm involved with the female Adolf Hitler and I see her goose-stepping around my living room when I walk in, I'm not in love anymore. You understand?
Yeah. Hold on.
I am the boss of me. I am in control of me.
What's up?
This is not a three-way here, okay? Thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Nick on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
Doing great, Nick.
Hey, man, I wanted to let you know I have a pretty pretty good story about this. I totally agree with you. I dated this girl for a while. She was good looking. We had a good time together. And 3 months into the relationship, she told me that she was into doing coke.
Uh-huh.
And, well, I mean, I asked her if she would stop for me, you know, because I kind of had some feelings for her. She told me she didn't think it was that important. I dropped her like a bad habit.
Perfect. Besides, at 20, you shouldn't be in love anyway.
That's right.
You should be in lust.
Hey, man, but Tom, I just want to let you know I listen to you all the time. I love what you're doing on the show. You're an icon down here, man.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for calling from Phoenix. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care.
You too. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. George was listening to us on Man Talk 640 in South Florida. Is calling us from the Aventura Mall. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Great.
Hey, I got to tell you, I listened to your show. I think you're 99.9% right all the time, but you're dead wrong on this one, brother. You're dead wrong. And I'll tell you why. We're talking about human nature. And when you talk about attraction, love, feelings, what you're talking about is when you find out these bad qualities, Tom, yes, that will kill the attraction. That will kill your desire to be with them. However, it's not like we're light switches where you can just turn that off. And, you know, obviously a lot of the guys that call, you know.
Yeah, we are, because if you were with somebody who shot you and you survived,
yes,
would you continue to be in love with them?
You wouldn't continue to be in love with them. You get the hell away from somebody.
You just
like
said
that,
you can't help it.
You can't help it. Yeah, you get away. I mean, it's two things. If you think about what you're saying, Tom.
So the bullet is torn through your flesh, and there you are. Your life is in danger. And you're saying, oh, but I love her.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that if you go with the, like you said, you pick who you fall in love with, what you're doing is you're qualifying people. You're giving a description.
We are qualifying people. That's why they've got Match.com and Yahoo Personals and JDate and Adult Friend Finder. Yes, we qualify people all the time. Yes, we say no to people all the time.
I understand, but Tom, if you're going into this approach with anybody, yes, if you know these qualities, these bad traits, I agree with you. You avoid that because you've lived enough life to know that those are bad people. However, if you're in a relationship and then you do fall in love, and these bad qualities come to light later after you've fallen in love with them, yes, you have to make a decision whether or not to stay with them, but it's not a switch that you can turn off.
Yes, it is. Are you in love with all the people you've ever been in love with right now? All of them?
Oh, of course not.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Because they had qualities that killed the attraction. You eventually walk away.
But we're not talking about attraction. We're talking about love.
Well, again, those qualities will kill that over time.
Well, that's my point. You can control it.
Well, it takes time, but it's not a light switch. You have to be strong enough to walk away and not spend time with those people anymore. But I understand why you see these young people especially get caught up and stay with bad people, especially girls stay with bad guys. Been like that since the beginning of time because to women, it's different. It's like a relationship. They don't want to lose the time they invested. So to them, they're going to stay with a bad situation. Even the guy is a murderer, he's a bank robber, he's bad credit, he steals. That's why you see these scenarios. But, you have to get older to get wiser. So, by teaching these kids that...
Just an excuse.
Yeah, it is exactly. It's just an excuse, but again, you can't. You can control your actions. You can't control your feelings. So.
Oh, I believe you can. I believe you can control your feelings. I believe by the way, if you can't control your feelings, why do they send people to anger management classes? You can control the anger feeling, but you can't control the love feeling? Doesn't make any sense. Michelle on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Great.
And yes, I do care. I agree with you. You can control. And I think if more people realized what it is that they are as a person, then therefore they would realize what they're looking for in other people and stop fooling themselves and confusing lust and love. And then maybe if they settled for the person that they really want to be with, we'd also have less divorces and broke up relationships. I also agree nobody should be married before they're 30. I have an 11-year-old and a 16-year-old, and you can ask my daughter, school, college, then I can talk about possible, and a career, then I can talk about getting married, if at all. I'm married, and I swear, and I've told my husband this, if anything ever happens, this is the last live-in relationship I will ever have again, because I'm too independent and too much of an individual, and people need to recognize what they are before they can realize what it is they need.
Well, that's a very good point, and I just think this is the excuse people use when they get into bad situations with bad. You can't help it. I mean, love.
You're exactly right, and the problem is we've become a society of excuses, and it's not like you said. It's not my fault. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, excuse me, open up your eyes. You know exactly what you're getting yourself into. It's just you choose to look.
I'm not a drug. It's a disease. It overcame me.
Oh, I agree with you, Tom, 100%. I've been listening to you for 6 months when I went back to work, and oh my gosh, I mean, to the things you come up with, it's like, it's like I need to meet you in person and talk to you in person and have a long conversation. The only thing is, I was listening earlier, you had Robert, another gentleman on with the 22-year-old that got married. There's one thing you need to teach these guys, is they need to speak intelligently. If they want to get some answers, if they want to get laid, if they want to do something, stop talking like they're off the street. Put some intelligence in your conversation, and then maybe even get somebody that, is not just, a low-class girl or whatever.
I'm not so sure that intelligence will get you young women. I'm just not sure about it. But I thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Don on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
What's up, Tom?
Not much, Don.
What's up, Dad? How you doing?
Great, son.
I was just calling just to argue the fact that I feel there's two types of love. I feel you have conditional love, and then you have the unconditional type. Meaning, with your children, you have an unconditional love for them.
No, there is no unconditional love. Because if your child came at you with a butcher knife and started stabbing away, you would not love that kid.
You know what? I still feel there's always going to be forgiveness there. You're always still.
Are you kidding me?
You know?
Not me. Not me.
Yeah, well, I was just calling to argue the fact that I feel that there's two types.
Well, you've said that already, so since you've run out of things to say, let's say hello to Vic on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, love your show.
Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to say, I think love is an emotional contract, and once a person falls in love, per se, with that other person, they're under the impression that they are, A, going to be a good person, be a good father, they're going to be a good fit for their life or anything like that. But once they do something, they turn out to be a child molester. They turn out to be a cheater or an embezzler or any type of bad person by definition. They basically break that contract no matter what. And at that point, that other person can just say, you know what, I don't want to be with you anymore. They should be able to turn it off. They should be able to just say, you know what, you broke the contract. I thought you were a good person, but even if it's not written or anything like that, it doesn't matter. They broke the contract. They should be able to fall out of love instantly at that point.
Good points, Vic.
Thanks, Tom. Blow me up, please.
There you go, baby. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Ryan in Phoenix, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what's up? All right. Now, first off, I think love in general is just a root of everyone being weak and insecure, everyone being dependent and thinking that they need someone and not confiding in themselves. And where you and I relate is that I think you stated one of your shows, you decided not to get married or not to have kids, take your money and do what you want. So I believe, like you, life is about going out and doing what you want to do specifically for yourself. And everyone out there is having all their problems in relationships because, of course, everyone has their own differences in beliefs, opinions, and morals. So no matter what, people will collide. And a lot of people, I call them weak when they're in love because I've seen friends have their girlfriends go crazy and do all sorts of things. I still stick with them because they're afraid of being alone. And it's just, everyone out there is pretty weak, and I don't see things getting better until most people grow up. And I'm 22 saying this, but I think that as far as age and wisdom, that's just based on how aware you are in your life. And what you were saying earlier, as far as having complete control on life, well, because you live in a world in which you don't control everything, that's never completely possible. But you're right, you can control a large part of everything, including your feelings, because your feelings are just an internal reaction to an external situation. So it's just, again, it just pretty much boils down to everyone is just pretty idiotic, and they're just going to keep having problems.
Everybody's pretty idiotic. Words to live by there, Ryan.
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Do you think that perhaps a young person would become bulimic or dyslexic after listening to your show?
Dyslexic? I don't know if they become dyslexic.
I'm sorry. What am I thinking about? I'm bulimic and what's the other one?
I don't know. Retarded?
Bulimic and...
Many people have become retarded from listening to this show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show from Hollywood at 1-800-5800-TOM. Do you agree with the following quote that we've heard on the Tom Leykis Show? You can't help who you fall in love with. I don't agree. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Eddie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello. Busy over there, Eddie?
Yes, I'm right here.
All right, Eddie, let's make an appointment. When would you like to start talking to me?
I just wanted to let you know, Tom, I've been listening to your show for a long time, and I very rarely disagree with you. I've been a correctional officer for over 10 years. I'm not there anymore. And this is the only time I really got to tell you I disagree with you, because I know that there's at least 250,000 people incarcerated in California, and their spouses are proof that they continue to love these degenerate individuals that are incarcerated in California.
I don't believe they love them. I believe they are mentally ill.
I'm telling you, they continue to have children. Let me put it this way. You remember way back when Charles Manson manipulated these individuals to kill and cause mayhem and all that stuff that happened way back then in the Tate and LaBianca murders?
Yes.
Well, Tex Watson was one of my very first individuals that I had the privilege to babysit. Well, he ended up marrying the preacher's daughter at the prison that I was at the time.
But that person's not in love. That person is sick and needs help.
I understand that. You understand that as a normal human being. But these people, for some reason, in their heads, have this delusion that they can cure these sick individuals. And for some reason, they all believe it. Across the country, in all the prisons, across America, across the world, all these people that are married, that get these letters, that send packages, they all believe that these people are curable, that all they need is some love, and they continuously continue to send these idiots care packages and love packages. They give them conjugal visits. They bear children for them. It's sickening, and it's nonstop.
But again, I don't believe they're in love. I believe they're mentally ill.
That means that half the population is ill.
There's a lot of, well, no, half the population is not in love with prisoners in the California corrections institutions.
I hope not.
I don't think so. By the way, my brother's a corrections officer, so I know all about what goes on there.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. It's quite the gig.
Right. That's my take. You know, you look at the world in a very bad scene from that side of the wall. You know, everybody has blinders, and until you go behind that wall, like your brother, he understands. You really don't have a clue what's going on in this world.
Well, you just certainly don't have a clue what's going on in prison until you go behind bars or until you know somebody who has. Wow. Anyway, Eddie, thank you for that. Tara on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I totally agree with you that you can help who you fall in love with. And I think what it comes down to is these people basically just have really low standards, and maybe they don't want to accept it or admit it. But at some point, they've made a decision that they don't deserve any better than a drug dealer or whatever, because you don't see anyone, you know, with the scary homeless guy on the corner saying, I can't help but be in love with him. He's my soulmate.
Right. That's right.
So I do agree, and I think that it's just a pretty lame excuse.
I think you're absolutely right, Tara. Thank you. See, we agree on that. 1-800-5800-TOM. Carrie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Hi. You and I have had our arguments in the past about single motherhood, but I do have to tell you that you're 100% right on this issue, and I feel like if I would have listened to you 13 years ago, I wouldn't be a total mess that I am now. I wouldn't have put up. I think that you can absolutely choose what's best for you and who you fall in love with. And I think it's really depressing, the young woman that you spoke to that said that if someone that she was so-called in love with murdered her own mother, that she might still be in love with him, but she would hate what he did, like it was a little 5-year-old child that did something wrong.
Or like she's Jesus or something.
Yeah, I think it's disgusting, and I think that that's such a huge problem. And like I said, even though I disagree on some things, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that if people would choose, if they want to be all righteous and choose the right way, if someone is not what they're willing to be around, if they're not a good person, then absolutely you can fall out of love with them. It took me 13 years of marriage, divorce, get back together again, have another child on birth control, and then have him take off and leave, all kids and myself for me to go, yeah, you know what, this is a really bad guy. And I knew that for the whole 13 years, but I kept saying, oh, I'm so in love, and I need to try this, and I need to try that. No, get out when you know it's bad, because they don't change, and bad people you shouldn't hook up with bad people. It's just retarded. And I think it takes maturity and age, Like I said, if I would have known about you at 21 and not 38, I think I'd be in a much better place and not so damaged, as you put it.
Well, I think you're probably right, Gary. Thanks for checking in from Scottsdale. It's Oscar on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Father.
How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. I just had to call in because I'm absolutely motivated by this topic here. I have a cousin who's dating this loser, and I always tell her that she should drop him, and she's like, "Well, I love him," and I'm like, "Just do what I do when girls tell me that they love me. I tell them I love you too, girl. But then again, I love pizza." And then I towel off and get the hell out. When I have sex.
Very nice. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello to Lisa on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom. I've actually known of you for a long time, and I have to say I agree with you again. I think a lot of the times these women have a problem with their sense of identity, and I would have to ask, where is the father in this situation? Where is the woman's father, the girl that's in this situation? Because I think a lot of the times this is the problem out there, is that women, we need our fathers to kind of tell us, what's wrong and right at times, and to kind of steer us in the right direction. And like you say all the time, women think we can do it all ourselves and just raise a child by ourselves, but we can't. This is what happens. We got women falling in love with men in jail, crack addicts and everything. And I have to say, my father, he really helped me out in the past, because I was engaged to a guy, ended up cheating on me, and getting involved with a lot of drugs, I kicked the guy out the next day. I had his bags out in the front door.
But you can't help who you fall in love with, can you?
No, I helped it all right. I cried for a year and a half, but you know what? I didn't care. I was like, you know what? I'm better off. I didn't care. I was like, you know, I can control my emotions. The only thing you can control is yourself. You just can't control other people. That's the one thing I've learned, and I'm 30 years old. But listening to your program, I've learned that a long time ago, and it's helped me out a lot.
Lisa, thanks for the call. I really appreciate it. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Gary on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Great.
I'm a big fan of yours, but I have to disagree with you on this one. And here's my thought. You mentioned that suppose you're with a girl and she shoots you, and you say that you would no longer be in love with her, right?
Actually, I said stabs you, but go ahead.
Okay, so there's no way I could talk you back into falling in love with her. So really, you're not choosing to fall out of love. It's just happening because of what she did to you. So it's really not your choice to fall out of love in this case.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all.
How so?
I don't agree with that at all. I make a conscious decision. When somebody hurts me, I make a conscious decision to get as far from them as possible.
Right, but not the love part. I think
yes.
You're falling out of love first, and then you're choosing to leave, or you leave. And then
I don't think it matters in what order it happens. The bottom line is that you have these people out there who say, like we had a call earlier, a woman said if you shot her mother, she'd still love you.
Well, her thermometer, her thermostat is broken.
That's
so she should be falling out of love.
That's true of anybody. That's true of anybody who doesn't fall out of love. In other words, these are people who are making excuses.
Okay, I'll agree with you that they're making excuses, but I think like they're broken in some way that they should. If somebody hurts me, if I'm dating somebody and she hurts me or hurts a relative, I should immediately fall out of love, not by choice, but because that's my baseline. You know what I mean? That's the way I'm built, that if somebody does something to me and they supposedly love me, I'm going to fall out of love. And so I think some people are broken and they don't fall out of love, but they should logically say, you know what, these people are bad for me. Even though I have these feelings, I need to get the hell away from them. But I don't think it's necessarily a choice to fall out of love. It's just that we've got our own internal standards that, kind of switch it on or off for us automatically.
I don't agree with that. I do believe that just the way you filter out people, no matter how nice they may be or how attractive they may be, you filter out certain people from consideration. I believe once you're involved with somebody, if they treat you the wrong way, they treat people you love the wrong way, they do bad things, you can very easily just say, you know what, I'm out. And by being out, I mean I'm out physically, I'm out mentally, I'm out emotionally, I'm out. It doesn't mean just walking out the door and locking it. It means you're out in every way. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Raphael, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? You kick ass. Just want to say that.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? I agree with you. I think a lot of relationships, people stay in there because they're afraid of what's out there. People get comfortable and they just get used to that person for so long that they don't know any better. And, unfortunately, I was in that trap, and I got smart and, decided, you know what, why? Weigh out why you're here. If everything weighs out and against you, of course, you got to do what's right and you got to leave it. But for my reason, I was afraid of change in the beginning. But you know what? Once I did it, it's like a light switch. You turn it off and on. So
yeah, that's how I feel about it. I turn it off the minute you hurt me. The minute you do so, or the minute you hurt me, or the minute you try to be an irresponsible, crazy person or something, I'm just done. I'm totally done. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Ian on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Father.
Son.
How you doing today?
Great.
I'd like to comment on why is it always got to be women that fall in love with the wrong person? Why can't it be men? There's hundreds and thousands of men that fall in love with the wrong bitch.
Well, with language like that, we're not going to go much further on the air. And try as you may, that stuff doesn't get on the air. So what are you going to do? Our email address is my name. It's Tom@blowmeuptom.com. And by the way, remember our web address because you never know when you're going to need it. You can hear the show live anytime by going to blowmeuptom.com. Write it down. blowmeuptom.com. Someday can be the only way you will hear this show. blowmeuptom.com.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.